They're so cute. They know they're cute. Look at that. So let's start from the beginning. On our right, freshly established 16-gallon long tank containing plants, some decorations, substrate, and most of all, Mark S, my betta. Don't worry, he's not sick or dead, he's just lurking. So it's his palace, and I thought it would be only fair to give him nice large mansion. Now, forgive me the glare, but here's one of the first of my shrimp tanks containing, I think you can see the snail already, ram's horn snails and blue dream shrimp. I love this tank. This tank has basically run itself for nearly a year. I only throw some food in there. I don't even have any need to change the water in it. Sometimes I change the water just because. The water changes is the topic that I might cover at some point. It's kind of a sensitive topic for some reason, but I assure you there is nothing to fret. Here is a 42-gallon, my largest tank so far, that also has been doing very well. I think the contributing factor to the health of this aquarium is this Malaysian driftwood that's been leaching healthy tannin, and I don't know, it was preventing the tank from, having algae problems. And right now I'm running some CO2 in there to make the plants grow even nicer. And it has been recently rescaped just slightly so that the fish have more room to swim. Previously, the driftwood was kind of resting on the substrate, which was making it more raised, and the fish had less room to swim. And now the flow is better, and everybody here is doing really well. There are 2 pearl gouramis, 14 harlequin rasboras, 7 scissortail rasboras, and 2 hitchhikers. There are, what are they called? Black-nosed Denny's, something like that. They're very common hitchhikers. They can hatch from an egg that someone brought with them in a plant that was taken from a natural source, like a lake, local lake. Now, oh, sorry, I skipped one tank. Another shrimp tank. It has been exclusively shrimp tank until I added some dwarf rasboras. You can see them right there. They're doing better. I've had some trouble with this fish, some deaths earlier. I don't know what caused it. So I increased the school again from 3 to 8 of them. And the shrimps are doing very well. Another tank, I don't know what it is about shrimp tanks that makes those tanks bulletproof. This one also has CO2 injection, but there was no issues, no algae, no water changes, almost no water changes, and everybody seems to be doing very well in there. Next tank. Here is an Amazon tank. I'm going to do something with those glares in the future. I'm going to look into it. So we have some neon tetras and some amber tetras. We do have hatchet fish with some cover, because they do jump. They can jump really high. In the future, I'm going to refrain from buying those hatchet fish. I don't think they're a good match for aquarium, because their nature is to jump, and I think I've had a handful of them injure themselves and die from just trying to jump up and injuring themselves. So yeah, I don't recommend, unless you have a really nice specific setup for these fish so that they can jump. I have Guppy tank here. So this one is a little bit different. It has just hardscape. I'm not sure if I could call it iwagumi. Maybe iwagumish. I have some black mollies and guppies in there. They're doing well, breeding. Here are some little microfauna project. Ostracods in the tub. Hopefully they will multiply. I just got them. And here, this is one of the newest experimental tanks. So far so good. As you can see, there's no substrate in this tank. It's what's called a glass bottom tank or bare bottom tank. I thought it would be appropriate to build such tank for glass catfish, and they're doing pretty well. I don't hear any complaints. I don't think they're bothered with the lack of substrate, because they are not the kind of catfish that dwell on the bottom of the tank. They kind of like to be in the water column in a school, and they're pretty funny fish. They school, but they don't go anywhere. So it works out pretty well. I'm thinking about maybe increasing the tank size at some point. This is only 22 gallon, which is dangerously on the verge of being too small, which is why I really eliminated all the possible extra material that could take away from the space. When you decide to create this kind of glass bottom tank, make sure that your filtration is way overdone. So this is like a much bigger filter than needed, but I also had to use adapters from thicker to thinner tubes. These are 16mm tubes that result in a much gentler flow that doesn't disturb the catfish too much. The plants are growing really well. Hygrophila pinnatifida, some epiphytes. I use Monte Carlo as an epiphyte. It's doing very well. The moss is growing. Some Bucephalandra, I don't know if you can see it here, right here. And just a jumble of roots and a little bit of a blue ribbon. No, that's called gold ribbon. Blue ribbon is an award for dogs. Gold ribbon that lets down these insane roots. These are still small, but look at this. I have some gold ribbon in this tank, and the root system is just insane. You can see myself now. Sorry about that. So this glare here is something I can't mitigate at the moment because of the tanks on the opposite side. But this one is, I'm very proud of this tank because I made the houseplants really work in there. And the fish are doing really well. There are some Raminos tetras, black neon tetras. One has some trouble with belly. I think it's constipation. I have to deal with that at some point. And there are some apistogrammas that had babies. I don't see them right now. Okay, they're hiding. So yeah, try houseplants. They are really no trouble. Also, this kind of black water tanks will give you the experience of running a tank without algae. Tank that has plants that eliminate all the impurities and nutrients really effectively, so that the water changes again are purely ceremonial in this case. All right, here we go into my experimental corner. There are some tanks in progress here, so I'm going to tell you what the deal is here. This tank has been going for a while. It's a 10-gallon with some rocks and plants, very easy plants, fast growing. I use it currently as a green room. I call it green room. Some people would call it quarantine tank. It's a waiting room for new arrivals. Currently, I have the cutest fish in the world, Venezuelan corridoras. They are, I think they're just showing off. They're so cute. They know they're cute. Look at that. And they're still little babies. And they're going to go downstairs to a tank that I set up for my building manager in their office. Okay, so the deal with this setup is I have some shelves here, and I go vertical because, as you can see, I'm running out of room. So this tank here has a little bit more focus on the bottom. So there's like really interesting textures, plants, rocks, because obviously we're looking down at it, right? The tank in the middle is at my head height, and I made sure that it's a little bit more like the perspective or the angle of this substrate, and the tank is a little bit more raised towards the back so that the tank can be displayed at this angle so that it works. And it's still being established. I was just setting it up yesterday. And then here on top, see, because this tank is seen from this angle, we'll call it a frog perspective, there's really no way we can see the substrate at all. So I focused more on the top part of the tank as holding the most interest. In this case, I want to create a very similar system, plant system as in this tank, just some houseplants that have roots immersed in water. Oh, you can see a little bit of the bottom here, but yeah. So, but from my point of view, it's just going to be like this. So, what we're going to see is just this jumble of wood and some plants that I stack through this structure that hopefully will grow, and they will take away all the nutrients from the water. And I don't know what I'm going to put in it. It might be another quarantine / waiting room tank. I'm one of those fish keepers that gets really nervous buying fish. I don't know, most fish keepers love buying fish, but I dread it. It's just stressful for me, for the fish. I don't like bagging creatures. Another theme for later maybe, or for a therapist session. So this is all I had to show for now. This is my first video, and maybe if it catches on, if it takes off, in a few years I'm going to look back at the video and make fun of it. Alright, hopefully you got some inspiration, and if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask. I will be addressing some mistakes, some issues that I run into. Hopefully my mistakes will help you in achieving your goals. And I've been a fish keeper for nearly 2 years, so it's not long, but as you can see, I'm obsessed. So it does help to be obsessed with stuff that you don't know much about until you do. All right, and that's all. Take care.